This car is a 2005 Infiniti G35. Today we're gonna replace the factory radio. The factory radio is actually working fine still, but it doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have backup camera. So I'm gonna install an aftermarket double DIN DVD receiver and add the backup camera and the Bluetooth functions. Alright, let's review the parts first. The radio is a Soundstream VR65XB. It's just the same as any double DIN receiver. It doesn't have Navi. Nowadays with iPhones and smartphones, you don't really need the Navi functions on the radio anymore. As you can see, the stock radio is well integrated into the panel. So I'm going to have to purchase a aftermarket panel to allow the installation of the aftermarket radio. And here is the faceplate. It's a Metra 957605A with a brushed aluminum finish. This stupid panel is actually pretty expensive. It actually costs more than the radio itself. We're also going to add a steering wheel control. It's going to interface with the steering wheel buttons and control the radio. And of course, the backup camera. Alright, let's get started. We also need a harness that goes in between the new radio and the car. The part number for this harness is it's a Scoshi 142C 4NN03B. Most of these parts are purchased from Crutchfield. They have excellent customer service. And the price is pretty reasonable. Slightly higher than other outlets, but you just can't beat the technical support they can provide. So this is the Scoshi part. Alright, I went ahead already connected the wires. One thing I'd like to mention is in their instruction manual there are two wires in this harness. It's not mentioned, and I went ahead called the customer service at the Crutchfield. They directed me. So it's these two wires. It's a blue one with a white stripe and a black one with a white stripe. These are not mentioned in the manual. So they told me to connect these. The black one with the stripe is ground, so it's just connected this to common ground. And the blue with the stripe can be combined with a power antenna. Okay, which in this case in my car it doesn't have a power antenna, so just combine with the other blue wire that's mentioned in the manual. Okay, that's it. And I use the soldering to connect these wires, and I like this way. It's neater looking and pretty solid connections. You can use connectors, different types of connectors. They'll do the same thing. If you want to watch the soldering techniques, I have another YouTube video, which I'm going to put the reference link here. All right, here's a little bit of lessons learned here. So these cables here in the back, they don't give you a lot of slack. So what you got to do is somehow flip this radio over. All right, let it rest on the shifter, and then you work on the bottom two harnesses first. See this harness here? It's got a tab, but it's backwards. It's like this. So you're gonna initially, when this is installed here, you're gonna have to somehow press on the tab to release the bottom two. And you can use a little screwdriver, but typically a screwdriver doesn't, there's not enough room for a screwdriver, so you might have to just use a finger or use a bend the screwdriver tip, so you can press on this little tab here. Then you release it, release the bottom two, then release the top two. It took me quite a bit to get these out. All right. Okay, at this point, let's give this radio a quick try. So what we need to do here is put the antenna adapter in. This end goes into the radio, and the other end goes into the car. And after that, what we need to do is adjust the output level of the SCSI. Okay, what the SCSI manual says is turn all these gains all the way down, and then turn the radio to about 3/4 of the volume, and then increase the 4 channels. So let's give this a try here. Well, it's very unfortunate. The right front channel, this little screw here, the gain adjustment, it fell off. I didn't think, I barely touched it. I didn't think it was made right. So at this point, everything's open, and I don't want to wait for multiple days because it's a pain in the butt to take this radio out again. So I am going to try to see if I can match the 3 channels to this one and make it work good enough. And then I'll be done with it. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Since the front right is the one with the missing screw, what I'm going to do is adjust the fade of front right to a certain level, and to have the other 3 match with it. Alright, now I got the radio sound level set up okay. Next thing I'm going to work on is the steering wheel module. Alright, so this is the part that interfaces with the steering wheel control. On this, there's 2 brown wires. The brown with the solid brown will hook up with the radio solid brown here in the back. This guy here. And the one with the white stripe is not used for, at least for my model of car. I got a base model G35. Okay, and the red is going to connect to the accessory, and the black is going to connect to a individual. I think it's important to connect this to a independent chassis ground, not sharing ground with anything else on the radio. That's the tip they gave me. All right. And on the car side, you have altogether 5 harnesses. 2 of them are taken up by the radio. And it's this one here with 4 wires on the back. That's the one you want to use for the steering wheel controller. Okay, I'm going to tap into these wires here. Alright, the steering wheel controller is extremely finicky. All right, after a long time of troubleshooting, it's partially working now. So here's a little tip. All these connections, I initially was using these speed connectors, like these. All right, don't use them. Okay, you have to strip down to the metal and make a solid connection here. All right, soldering, if you If you can, I didn't do it, but they're connected solid now. So right now, it's volume up is working, but volume down doesn't, and seek is working, and everything else is not working. So what you do is try to reset it. Here's how you reset it. Just hold down to the reset button for about more than 2 seconds. All right, then it's going to blink rapidly. So at this point, you hold the volume up, all right, until this light goes off. All right, now you let go the volume up button. Okay, so you see these green flash? The flashes are, the first one is supposed to be a long flash if I have this white with green connected, which is a short blink, so it's not detecting this wire. And the fourth one, the fourth blink was for this wire, it's a long blink. So it's recognizing the gray and the red, and it's not recognizing the white and green. So I called Metra earlier. They advised me to flip these two wires. See, it should work. So I'm going to try that now. Okay, so I did what Metra told me. I flipped the gray with red and white with the green. Now I'm going to reset it up. So I also measure the connectivity, the continuity from this wire to the pin. Seems to be connecting well. So hold it for 2 seconds. Then flip the volume up. Okay, let go of the button. Alright, let's see how it works. Well, it's the same result, pretty much. Actually, it's even a little worse. The seek down doesn't work. The seek up only works. So that is an indication this piece, maybe internally something's wrong with it. So I need to get a new one now. As a last resort, I'm going to try to update the firmware, see if that'll resolve the problem. Okay, the firmware is updated. Let's give it a try now. Power on. Well, the first blink is still short, so that's an indication it did not see the first wire. So there might be some hardware issue. So let's find out. Ah, well, actually no, it works now. All right. It seems like everything's working. Excellent. Alright, we're golden now. Alright, just seems to be way too much trouble with these connectors, so I'm gonna just solder it together. Gotta be extremely careful. Okay, one thing I definitely need to point out. This steering wheel ground is part of the radial. You cannot ground this to the metal box. This wire has to be routed to a metal piece somewhere in the car body. Okay, now the backup camera. The camera is going to be mounted on the license plate, and this red one will get powered. You have this male plugs into here, and that's going to tap into the backup light. Now this yellow video input is going to plug into here, and up on the front it's going to plug into your head unit. The red pigtail wire here is going to allow you to tap into the backup light power, and this on the front is going to hook up to that pink wire on the head unit. This red wire initially is confusing. It's just nothing different from a parallel wire running inside this black cover. Okay, it's a pretty nice little feature. Otherwise, you're going to have to run two wires. So the backup camera is not as straightforward as it should be. So I have to find this grommet and dig a hole and string the wire through it and splice it back to reconnect this little power and video feed. Alright, then in order to feed the video wire up front, you're going to have to peel up a whole bunch of things, and I believe around here you can string the wire through. Alright, here's what you do. This was where the foam used to be. You just pull the foam out, and this hole is going to be exposed, and you can run your wire through here. Okay. Alright, up front, behind the back seat, on the top is held by Velcro. Just pull the Velcro off. Here you go. Alright, from there on, it's going to be pretty easy. You just remove the door trim. Alright, there you go. Then you just tuck the wire underneath it. Run it all the way to the front. Alright, it's pretty simple. Alright, just open up more and run it through here. We need to tap into reverse light for power. Here is the reverse light. So we're just going to be undo the back liner and get access to the backlight. Alright, so we tap into the positive, then run a wire underneath the cover, go through the flex conduit, back into the trunk. Alright, it's opened up. It's going to be pretty difficult to fish a wire through this little conduit here. So actually, there's a rigid plastic tube in the middle. This tube, don't try to fish through it. It's actually splits open in the middle. It's just taped up. You can't see it normally. So just to cut open the tape that's already on it and open it up and put the wire through it, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, to go through the flex conduit, I run 1/4-inch plastic tubing, like the refrigerator water supply tubing. I stick that inside the flex conduit. Then stick the wire through it. Okay, now on the front, the RCA jack goes into the camera connection, and the pink wire on the radio connects to the pigtail, the red pigtail wire. That'll tell the when the car is put in reverse, it's going to tell the radio to cut over to the backup camera. So let's give it a try now. Alright, seems to be working. Alright, now it's time for final assembly. Alright, now it's buttoned up and the trunk is restored. Alright, let's spend some time setting up the USB cable. The USB cable can be concealed into the cigarette ashtray. Alright, so what you do is take this piece here, go to the back side, and remove the metal cover. Okay, there's a screw on the bottom, just unscrew that and you can undo this. Then what you can do is just take a male-female USB cable and stick this male part through here. You might have to knock a hole here. Alright, then go to the back side. Then on the back side of the radio, later it's going to be hooking up with the female from the radio itself. Okay, it's partially back together now. One thing I need to point out, sometimes the radio doesn't fit into the frame perfectly. In my case, the bottom leaves about 1/4 inch of a gap. Alright, it was pretty ugly if I don't do anything. So what I did was I just used the black electric tape. Before I put this thing together, I tape it so the sticky side is on the inside and the shiny side is on the outside, and you can hardly see it now. Alright. Before you do the final assembly, make sure you test all the functions, make sure they all work. Seem to be working. Well, now the little DVD is playing, and even comes with a small remote control. The remote control is a little too busy for me, and I don't think I ever use it. But anyways, it's there. Well, the USB is playing. That's coming from here. Bluetooth, satellite radio, radio. All right.